Collins. I am Janita Pascal, your inspirational mindset shifter and the founder and managing director of G.P.A Inc., where we inspire intellectual innovation. Today, I'm happy that you can join us here as my guest, Miss Loraine Collins, a mental health coach, take you behind her win, where we go beyond her cover story. Behind the win are experiences and or challenges that we all encounter. Those dreams and visions we set out to achieve can pose many stumbling blocks, leaving us questioning why, and often allowing us to go back to the drawing board to determine where should we turn next and how should we take those next steps. But nobody knows, as all they ever get to see is the cover story. That cover story that leaves others questioning, why can't I get to that point too? Here, we speak to doctors, authors, lawyers, professional coaches, entrepreneurs, and your everyday people as they inspire you by sharing with you their experiences and challenges that they encountered before basking in their winning season. Again, guys, I want to thank you for joining us here as my guest today joins us to share her story of how she was able to remain resilient in the face of postpartum depression. Hi, Loraine, and welcome to this platform as you share with and inspire our audience.
Hello, Janita. How are you doing today?
I am doing really good, thank you. And I just want to thank you again for joining us here in this space as you again share your story to inspire the individuals who will be coming in contact with this video. Loraine, so I like to start off with asking the question of, if I ever met you in an elevator for the first time and I said, hey, nice to meet you, that's an amazing dress, how are you doing? Who would you say Loraine is?
All right, Loraine Collins, aka Coach Clary, is a single mom, the youngest of 10 older siblings. Well, actually, I'm the youngest of 10 siblings. I have 9 older siblings. And I'm the CEO of Clary's Tidbits, a mental health facility that specializes in postpartum care.
Oh, lovely. I like that you spoke directly into postpartum care. And with your story, we know that many women are impacted by postpartum depression. And statistics show that 10% of pregnant women and about 13% of women who have given birth experience a mental disorder or primarily depression. Can you share with us as it relates to your challenge or your experience with postpartum depression 19 years ago?
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, so 19 years ago, I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. But during the process of birthing, and the 6 months afterwards, I went through severe depression where I incurred a condition called Bell's palsy. Even today, if I smile, you can see that one of my eyes are still impacted by that event because I had to wear an eye patch for a while to alleviate the pressure of light on my eyes. So the stress did incur Bell's palsy, and also it incurred homicidal and suicidal ideations by the time my daughter was 6 months old. By the time my daughter was 6 months, it came to me that suicide, a bathtub submersion, was the best outcome for my daughter and myself. Thank God that during the process, the day that I turned on the pipe and I was in the process of filling the tub up with water and then placing my daughter in it to watch her go to for what I call forever sleep. And then once her eyes were closed, I would join her. It happened that my sister was calling and she refused to, stop. It got so annoying, the call, that I had to answer it. And when I did answer it, on the other end of the line, my sister was crying. And her story, the reason why she was calling me is because she couldn't believe that someone we both knew and loved and respected highly was also considering suicidal ideations. So my sister had no idea what I was going through. She had no idea what I was preparing to do, but that's what she called me for. And in listening to her crying about this woman that we so admired, it allowed me to realize I'm not alone. I'm
Right.
not the only person who consider myself unworthy of this gift of life that God has given us. So when I received that call and she broke the news to me, it brought me to a place where I could say, okay, you know what? Maybe I can get through this. And so that day I turned off the pipe and I just sat on my bathroom floor for a long time crying, and I cried so much that I didn't think my tears would ever cease. And then I finally decided to call an old friend of mine. He's a pastor. And when I did call him, he obviously heard the tears in my voice because he immediately started speaking scriptures of healing to me. And that was the beginning of my restoration.
Yeah, I'm just happy that you got that phone call that day because, in so many instances, sometimes we're hopeful, we're holding on to faith. We're
Mhm,
trying in the middle of the storm. We're just trying to be hopeful, but sometimes, maybe we need to get that call. We need to answer that call. And,
mhm.
I just want to know what inspired you in that moment after you received that call. What kept you resilient? What was that thing that you were able to tap into to remain hopeful, to adopt that positive mindset?
Okay, after I received the call and after I received the call from my sister and I called my pastor friend and he gave me scriptures. Sometime later, I had a dream, and in that dream, I believe an angel of God visited me, and he informed me that not only myself, but because my daughter was in the dream with me, that we both would be all right. I've written a book and it's entitled My Sacred Heart. It's available on Amazon, and this dream is detailed in the book.
Okay, and
Yeah.
you spoke about writing a book, but you also spoke to me about how you were able to tap into the art of poetry. So does the book entail any type of poetry or anything that we can look forward to?
Oh yes. Within the book is my signature poem, and it's entitled "Thank God for My Child." I will go ahead and recite it if you want me to.
Sure, yes, go ahead and inspire us.
Okay. All right. She's my little angel sent from above, my precious little bundle of love. But when I looked at her hands and feet and realized just how much she needed me, responsibility gripped me with fear. I love her still, but the enemy snuck in with what's classified postpartum syndrome. It's not something faked or imagined by women to receive attention. No, it was real. A sense of despair was all I could feel. But isn't it funny? Now I miss those 10 little fingers and 10 little toes because they don't cling to me as much anymore. Now I miss those 10 little fingers and 10 little toes because, oh, how my little girl has grown. My precious child is now taller than me. God has blessed her intelligent little mind with great big ideas. And isn't it funny? What the enemy may use to destroy you, God uses to build your character. For where there was depression, God's restored my joy and laughter. Thank God for my child.
Oh, well, we thank God for your child, and we also thank God that you are also using this story by writing this book and also coming on here to share with us so that you can inspire other individuals who are in this situation to really find peace in the middle of the storm. And I just wanted to know, I hear you today and I'm so emotional over sitting over here. How were you able to find peace in the middle of the storm?
My peace comes from being able to share my story and empower others. That's where my peace comes from. And also, the older I get, the more I realize family is so very important. The people have in your circle, your support system, is very relevant. So yeah, that's where my peace comes from. My poetry, the ability to share my story, and my family.
Yes, as well, here we see family is everything as well. And you also need
Mhm,
those types of support systems that you can lean into because, and sometimes even in the middle of the storm, because I went through a roller coaster ride with depression in 2020, and just
mhm,
finding that tribe, that family, that group of friends, that core group that you can tap into and lean on
mhm.
when you're going through those types of situations is key and it's very critical along your journey. Um,
Sure.
so for those individuals who may not have that type of support and who may not have that core group to tap into to lean on, what would you say to them when they encounter those types of challenges? What would you how would you guide them in that place so that they too can get to their place of peace?
To get to your place of peace, first I encourage you to seek counseling, seek a coach or a therapist. But if you don't have the funds to be able to do so, get a book, a journal. Write your ideas down, write your emotions down. Because when you keep your emotions trapped inside of you, that builds stress. And we all know that stress can lead to many different ailments. So get a book, get a journal. You can go to the dollar store and get a book and just write your thoughts down. Creative writing is very powerful. Also, music gives you therapy. I listen to gospel music all the time,
Yes.
and my gospel music alters the atmosphere for me. So I encourage you, either if you can't afford a therapist or a coach, get yourself a notebook, write down your emotions, or just listen to some music. Sit back, put your headphones on if you have to, and listen to some music that encourages you. Not music that has curse words in it or diminishes woman, but music that are empowering. Music that uplifts you. Yeah.
That's
Uh,
good.
Sound therapy is very powerful. Yes.
Oh, sure is. You know that there are many people walking this road alone, especially those mothers who end up as single parents. And
Hmm.
often some are unable to speak up. Again, you spoke earlier about the fear of being judged for your story, fear of being judged for your experience, the fear that your experience would be discounted. And somebody else might say, oh, it happens to every other mother. I mean, statistics show, I mean, what are you really crying about? What are you really shouting about? And sometimes when individuals come to us and they say things like that, we can tend to shy away from sharing our story, even speaking up about our encounter. What will you say to someone who is going through this experience, scared, alone, unable to speak up, or being judged for their experience? What would you say to that person?
Okay, first of all, there is a difference between baby blues and postpartum depression. Baby blues is when you have that sadness because you know that going through a 9 months of carrying another human beings within our body is very stressful. It's a lot of hormones. We go through a lot of hormonal changes. So after you give birth, we give birth as women, we some of us go through that 2 week after baby blues. We're saddened because we no longer have that attention. When we're pregnant, people want to rub our stomach. Oh, she a pretty mommy. We get that attention. But once the baby is born, the attention is taken from us and it's laid on the baby. So we get left in the closet, so to speak. Yeah, but that's one issue. Baby blues. It passes by quickly. in comparison to postpartum depression. Postpartum depression is a serious illness. I myself, when I went through it, before I went through it, actually, I didn't consider it to be real. I thought, that's why the poem says it, I thought it was something that women perceive within themselves, but it's not. It's a severe condition that causes, like for me, it caused Bell's palsy. So when you're going through this situation, don't be afraid to speak up because you never know what the outcome can be. It can be detrimental. At that day when my sister called, what would have happened if she didn't?
Right.
If she didn't call me and I never spoke out of what was going on with me, then what would have happened to me? So regardless of the thought that other people might have, the perspective other people might have, your peace, your mental health is imperative. Seek help if you need it. Don't allow anybody to close you in. Seek the help if you need it. It's there. If you had diabetes or if you had high blood pressure, wouldn't you seek the help? You would
Yes.
seek the help. So therefore, if you have a mental issue, postpartum depression, if you're suffering from any illnesses at all within the mind, seek help. That's why coaches are there, therapists are there to help you out.
Oh, yes. And as you're speaking about seeking help, as an amazing mental health coach, the work that you're doing, can you tell us more about your services? If today I wanted to sign up for one of your services, what type of services do you offer and where can we find you?
Okay, so the services that I offer is one-on-one. We have a healthy baby, healthy moms, HB, services, that's one-on-one. And that offers prenatal support, postpartum consultation, and postpartum coaching. We also have group therapy. Our group therapy offers our group sessions offer group therapy virtually, and then we also have our brick and mortar meditations that's done in person on location. That's available from Monday to Friday. If you want more information, you can go to my website. It's claristidbits.com. That's CLARISTIDBITS.com. So that's where you can best reach us.
Okay, great. And you did speak about your book. Can you tell us again on what platforms we can find your book and the name of the book that we should look forward to?
Okay, it's an ebook and it's entitled My Sacred Heart. That's just one of my books. I have two ebooks available on Amazon. The other one is Inhale, Exhale, Release, Authentic Ways to Relieve Stress. You can look for these books on Amazon. And also on the website, you can find links to the book. So,
Okay, great. Let us shift gears to speak about you and what you look forward to most this year as a mental health coach.
all right. So right now I am working on a project utilizing scriptures to enhance holistic healing. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to get it out and on the market by the end of this year. By the end of this year.
Okay, great. So I'm just excited about, I know I am going to purchase one of your books for sure. The
Thank
Relax.
you.
Yes, because I need to relax and release. So I'm getting that book for certain. I'm happy that you shared this on here. But
Mhm.
I know in the interest of time, it is just so sad that we have to come to an end. But before we go, um, are there any last words that you would like to share with the viewing audience?
All right. My most the most significant three words or a three-word sentence in my own vocabulary, and that I share often with everyone I come into contact with, is that I'm not alone. No matter what situation you're going through, no matter how disparaging it appears, you're not alone. And that's my message to everyone. You're not alone.
Right, guys, you're not alone. I want you to remember that you are not alone. And again, Miss Loraine Collins was able to come on here and share with us her experience and how she was able to remain resilient in the face of postpartum depression. And I want you to continue the great work that she's doing. And I also want you to tap into her services as she empowers you to maintain a positive mindset in the middle of the storm. Again, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining us here and have a happy Sunday.